How well do you know yourself? Do you sometimes surprise yourself by the way you react in certain situations? Do you know how to evaluate yourself for self-improvement? Well, in this video, I've got 10 questions that will help you define who you are. You will be surprised to learn that most people know more about others than they know about themselves. A good example is the social media craze that's going on today. You spend most of your time on social media learning about other people. You're always trying to find out what other people are doing. And you are quick to evaluate and to judge others while failing to evaluate and judge yourself. Remember, nothing changes until you change. You really are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You have created the world around you. You see, we're all walking around in our own little worlds. We created those worlds, but most of the time we aren't aware that we are creating them. Awareness is the major practice that is mentioned in the book Living the Virtuous Life by Orville T. Miller. He states that a transformed life begins with awareness. We have relinquished control of our worlds to other people, and we are unaware of the power we possess to change it. But the key to taking back control of your world is understanding yourself and improving yourself. So let's take a few minutes and dive into these questions and find out where you stand. Question number one. What are your core values and how do they guide your decisions? Have you developed a set of core values? Do you have standards for your life? Are there some things that you absolutely will or will not do? Do you have something that you stand for, like religious beliefs? Maybe you have a certain philosophy that you practice. What are your beliefs about humanity and your role in it? There is a saying that if you don't know what you stand for, you will fall for anything. You make decisions based on what you believe, so make sure it's something solid. Number 2. What are your strengths and how do you use them in your daily life? Have you taken time to study your strengths? Do you know what they are? What have people told you about your strengths? Can you take a piece of paper and write 5 strengths that you have? How have they served you in the past? You must learn to harness them and improve upon them for the maximum advantage in your life. Number 3. Do you recognize your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses and what are you doing to improve them? Often we don't recognize them ourselves, but others can. Be honest with yourself when you evaluate your weaknesses. We don't like to look at them. We run from them and try to hide them from others. However, you only succeed in hiding them from yourself. You must learn where you are weak. You are not alone. Everyone has some form of weakness. But the power is in knowing them and turning them into strengths. Number 4. What activities or situations make you feel most alive and fulfilled? Observe yourself when involved in activities or relationships. What do you most enjoy? Are you better alone or with others? Do you prefer a crowd or just a few people? What would you do for fun if you could do it all the time? Do you have or need a hobby? What floats your boat? Find out what gives you joy and do it. Number 5. What drains your energy and how do you address it? That one is pretty easy to discover. However, you must include people because they can be the number 1 energy drainer. Notice how you feel around people. There are some people that you're around and you just seem exhausted when you finish the interaction. Are there activities that are draining your energy? Your energy needs to be put mostly towards developing the life you want for yourself. Another thing to notice is how you feel after you get off of social media. Are you drained? Protect your energy, because it's a valuable asset to your performance. Number 6. What are your short-term and long-term goals? You would be surprised at the number of people who never set goals for their life. Are you one of them? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? What do you want your life to look like by then? Would it be a new job, a new career, a new relationship, new clothes, a new car, and the list goes on and on. What about your short-term goals? What do you want next week? What do you want next month? Your short-term goals should be made and undertaken with the long-term goals in mind. Your daily activity should line up with your short-term goals, and your short-term goals should line up with your long-term goals. That means every day you're doing something to change your life and make it better. Take some serious time and write your goals out and put them somewhere you can see them every day. At the end of the day, evaluate yourself as to your progress on your short-term goals. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? Number 7. How do you define success for yourself? What does success look like for you? Success means different things to different people. Define what success would look like to you in your life. What would success look like in your business? What would it look like in your relationships? How much money do you need? What type of living arrangements do you need? What changes do you need to make to get to that success? Make sure that your journey towards success is not chasing fantasies. Be realistic as to what you think you can accomplish and go for it. Number 8. What fears or insecurities often hold you back? This one is crucial because fear keeps so many people from accomplishing the things they want in life. You fear that you're not good enough. You fear what others will say. You fear getting laughed at. There are so many fears that hold us back. We must learn how to overcome that fear. We must learn how to be afraid and do it anyway. Prepare ahead of time as to how you would deal with that fear when it comes. And you'd better believe fear will come. Number 9. What does your inner critic often say and how do you respond to it? Everyone has that inner critic in their mind that's telling them they're not good enough, pretty and strong enough, smart enough, brave enough, and that you will never accomplish what you set out to do. How do you respond to it? What do you say to yourself to challenge the inner critic? Do you stand up to it, or do you just shrink and let it become the dictator of your life? Self-talk is one of the most important things that you can do. You are constantly talking to yourself, but what are you saying? You've got to learn to be brave and to stand up to that inner critic. And finally, number 10. How do you react to failure or setbacks? Failure or setbacks will define you. How you react during the setback and how quickly you bounce back will show you and others what you're made of. When you are going through difficulties, lift your head, straighten your back, and keep your eyes on the gold. You can't keep a good man down. A righteous man will fall 7 times but get back up again. So get up and wipe the tears from your eyes and show the world what you're made of. Once you have worked through these 10 questions and have gotten a better understanding of yourself, you will become unstoppable. Thanks for watching this channel. Please subscribe and share it with someone that may want to hear. And go out and maximize your life.